Yo, what up, Street Talks? There, Kim. Alright, some turbo thoughts. So, this turbo thought is simple. The thought is, what is the future of living, working, playing, and everything in between? So, these are just some of my personal thoughts. So this is actually kind of funny because, so right now I'm 32 years old, born 1988. And actually, I still remember straight out of college. You know, I got my first, kind of like tech job, my 9 to 5, technically like a 10 to 6. And I always thought to myself, I'm like, this is kind of bullshit that I have to go into work in the office. I could do all this work remotely from my own house and apartment. Why do I need to go in the office? This is bullshit, right? And obviously, like, I like going to the office to play ping pong. I got really good at ping pong and stuff like that. But besides that, the thought of having to go into office to do work was quite stupid to me. And so actually for me, the thought of possibly being able to live and have a certain lifestyle where I didn't have to go into work or go into the office every day seemed like the wise one. And now with COVID, and I think COVID is actually, forced us. There's a saying that necessity is the mother of all innovation. So we had to work remotely purely from, like, we had no other options, really. And so if there's anything that this whole situation has taught us anything, is that humans are pretty, what Nassim Taleb calls anti-fragile. Like, we's pretty good at adapting to situations at hand. So my basic proposal is, like, if your work is possible to do work remotely and not from the office, we should have an option of just working purely remotely. And you as an individual person and an entrepreneur, how's it going? We should position ourselves in a manner where you could essentially live and work and play somewhere that's hella cheap and doesn't actually require you to work directly in office. And to me, this is the ultimate thing, because then this would allow you to not have to go into a stupid office and do work that you don't really kind of care for. So the future of working remotely. So I mean, we already see it now. Everyone uses email, Slack, and everything in between. And so, like, I don't know who you is and what your position is, but if you have an option, let's say you're a tech worker and you can work remotely, whatever, why work? Why live in SF? Why live in New York? Why live in anywhere? Maybe it's best to move to Detroit or move to, actually I'm here in Providence, Rhode Island. It's actually my favorite city in America. So Providence, Rhode Island is fantastic. There's so many places in the Midwest I actually personally haven't explored too much, I haven't discovered yet. I mean, some other places which are up and coming that I personally been to, which I really like, is I really like Denver, Colorado was amazing. Denver was super duper cool. Or you could just kind of like move into the middle of nowhere somewhere in the Midwest or whatever. Yeah, like, why not? It's like and it's so funny because, like, people, I want to live in a big city for the arts and the culture and the museums. And I'm like, like, all this shit is closed down, and I don't know about you, but I ain't gonna go to no club for a long ass time, and a museum, and restaurants, and, like, anything that's indoors or has anything to do with people. It's probably gonna be not really a thing. So it does seem wise to position yourself in a way that doesn't require you to live somewhere expensive. So it's difficult for us to earn more monies, but it is quite easy for us to adjust our living circumstances, which allows us to lower our cost of living. So living somewhere cheaper, a cheaper city, a cheaper living situation, wherever it may be. And then for me, then it means, what's a purpose of life or whatever, to walk outdoors a lot, to work out a lot, eat a lot of meat, lift a lot of weights, and philosophize, to blog, to make stuff, make websites, to create photos, create videos, vlogs, everything in between. And I really think that the brave new world of photography, video, blogging, vlogging, podcasting, whatever it may be, I think it actually is a very interesting, exciting future. I think now, because most people is kind of scared shitless and everyone's just kind of like stuck indoors. I think actually media right now is actually more important than ever, because people want something to watch, people want something to listen to, people want something to kind of like latch onto. And yeah, maybe you could become that change. You could become the change which you wish to see in the world, and you could share the turbo thoughts, and you could share the ideas which you hope can inspire and motivate other people. And I mean, super simple things. You could just do it from your phone, whether an iPhone or Android or whatever. Make your own website, blog, bluehost.com, install wordpress.org, start your own YouTube channel. You technically already have a YouTube channel if you have a Google Gmail, Google Maps account. Even on the the YouTube app in the top right corner, there's a little video icon. You can start blogging, vlogging directly from there. Or like you could or like from your browser, your web browser, right? youtube.com/upload. Use Safari or Chrome, whatever, Firefox, whatever is convenient for you. And yeah, and I think like my whole proposition is, I don't know, man, like now that people in society, we're not really going anywhere, moving around anywhere and stuff like that, then it seems that maybe perhaps the future then is going to be really less like money driven. It's going to be maybe more driven by like people's personal motivations, people actually having the energy and the guts to leave their apartment, to go out into nature or go out to the wilderness, go into the cities, to talk, to share their ideas and stuff like that, and to essentially position themselves in a sense that allows them to think, to create, to share, to explore, and essentially to do stuff. I think the world is such a beautiful place, and I think it's just very unfortunate that technology, information, phones, media and stuff, it's like, and this is the tricky thing, is that I don't think anyone actually is sinister and is trying to propagate, fear for the sake of doing fear. I think people who believe in that, they're oversimplifying. My theory is this: humans were naturally risk averse, or were very sensitive to pain, anxiety, and fear. and you know, these dopamine devices, these serotonin devices, these cortisol devices, these like serotonin, this dopamine dispensers we have in our front pockets, which we call a smartphone. The big problem about these devices is that essentially it wires us in very weird and bizarre ways. It's always dinging. We're always checking it to see the latest news on X, Y, and Z. And the weird thing with the news and social media and stuff like that, social news, I mean essentially social media is just social news, right? Is that it kind of rewires our brain to always feel anxious, and then you almost start feeling weird to not be anxious. So it's almost like you be addicted to the feeling of feeling fearful. But also the strange thing is, I think with fear and joy, or fear and pleasure, there's kind of this strange connection between fear and pleasure, because every time you read the news and then you hear like more people dying or getting sick or bad shit happening to other people, there's a little bit of Schadenfreude, which is a German word for joy in the sufferings of others, because it just like, thank God it wasn't me, right? So it does kind of give us a sense of calm. But simple solutions: quit the news, quit social media, use this chance to create your own news, create your own blog, create your own social media, and use this chance for you to maybe truly thrive.